that you've all seen the building of John Deere tractors and their performance on the farm, I'd like to answer any questions that you may have in mind that the pictures haven't touched on or made clear to you. Now, does someone have a question?
What kind of fuel do you recommend for your tractors?
That's an important question because fuel represents the largest single item of expense in tractor operation. We recommend low-cost fuels such as distillate, fuel oils, furnace oils, and stovetops. By using low-cost fuels, you can save up to $1 to $2 a day as compared with the cost of gasoline or kerosene. This means a big saving at the end of the year. Many owners save enough in fuel costs to pay for their John Deere tractors long before they require replacement. Understand that while John Deere tractors will burn both gasoline and kerosene with high efficiency, they're especially designed to burn the low-cost, money-saving fuels. This next picture will show you why. First, the fuel is drawn from the carburetor into the preheated manifold, kept hot by the exhaust gases. As the fuel is drawn toward the two combustion chambers, it comes in contact with the heated wall of the manifold and is gasified, which is necessary for complete fuel combustion. Now notice the short, direct passage from manifold into the combustion chambers of the two cylinders. Because of this, there's no chance for the heavier or lower-cost fuels to reliquefy, escape by the piston rings into the oil and cause oil dilution in the John Deere two-cylinder engine. When you consider the fact that fuel makes up by far the largest item of expense in tractor operation, you can readily see the tremendous advantage in a tractor that can successfully burn cheap fuels. Other contributing factors in successfully burning the lower grade fuels are horizontal cylinders, the relative slow speed of the John Deere engine, which allows for the maximum expansion of the heavier, slower burning fuels, and the John Deere cooling system. The engine in the John Deere tractor is cooled by the thermosiphon system, providing most effective temperature control in its simplest form. The water pump, with its large number of parts, is entirely done away with. After the engine is started, the water does not begin to circulate until the engine is hot enough to ensure complete fuel combustion. The circulation is governed automatically by the requirements of the engine. As the engine temperature increases, the water flows up through a large pipe to the radiator tank, then down through the radiator tubes in which the water is cooled by a strong suction of air through the radiator. The cooled water then re-enters the engine through a separate port in each side of the cylinder head, and its first contact is with parts that require cooling most. The fan is gear-driven, positive in action, assuring that the water in the radiator will be properly cooled under all operating conditions. The fan shaft bearings adjust and lubricate themselves automatically. Now, are there any other questions?
Won't the tractor use more of the lower grade fuels than gasoline?
No, in a John Deere tractor, quite to the contrary. Less low-grade fuel is used to do the same job because the heavier fuels are more powerful, and our engine is especially designed to burn them. Bear in mind that heat units constitute power in all fuels. Let us make a comparison. This chart, based upon figures furnished by the United States Bureau of Standards, shows the comparative heat units in the various fuels. Inasmuch as heat units, if properly utilized, represent power, it is evident that the heavier fuels have more power than either gasoline or kerosene. It is therefore evident that the heavier fuels used in a tractor engine that properly burns them are more powerful than gasoline. Does that answer your question satisfactorily? Now, are there any further questions?
What kind of an oiling system have you got in your engine?
The engines in all John Deere tractors have a full-pressure, force-feed oiling system absolutely positive in action. When the engine is started, oil is drawn from the reservoir through the strainer by the pump, forced through the oil filter where all dirt is removed to the indicator, and then by pipe to the right and left main bearings, through holes drilled in the crankshaft to the connecting rod bearings, and through holes in the connecting rods to the piston pin bearings. Oil thrown from the revolving connecting rod bearings lubricates the cylinders. A fifth piston ring or wiper ring installed on the skirt of the piston controls the volume of oil reaching the head end of the cylinders. Back of the wiper